this is third web. This is the dashboard that I use for writing smart contracts, for deploying them, for making them, and so on. They're not all that difficult right now. I can create tokens, editions, pieces, individual one-of-one tokens, as it were, like an NFTs, as like we know them, as like a digital asset back on chain, voting and so on, which I'll go through with you shortly. So one of the things we talked about almost a year ago, as like a long-term vision, was obviously using this technology in like the most eco-friendly possible way to give that that shared fund. So, you know, like a portion, we talked about it. I think the example we used about a year ago was that like a percentage, say 10%, 20% of Elevated Planet profits from the entity are held by a shared thing. Basically, I think we can do that, and not just necessarily with Elevated Planet, but like we've talked about before. We talked about in regards to how to raise funds for this this piece of land in Glastonbury, this UFO sanctuary.
Yeah,
not a sanctuary for aliens, although I suppose it would be if they wanted it to be. There could be a really interesting way of doing it. So what I've done recently is I did this a little test collection called the Ancient Anunnaki.
Okay.
Which was 125 vases, completely at random, 3 legendary inside. They're all unique 1-to-1 designs, all based off Anunnaki, ancient Egyptian art, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
Let me show you a few examples of what I've got.
I think because you put this onto LinkedIn, didn't you?
I did, yes.
I had a look at that.
It was definitely something interesting, something very fun. But basically using the AI machine.
Yeah.
Once I'd got the base of what I wanted, I basically could then keep that base, keep certain color palettes, and then change the detail infinitely on these vases. And some of them have actually turned out pretty nice.
Wow. I like that.
Yeah. They're really cool. They're really cool. And they're all different shapes, sizes, types, everything. There's like some more common shapes than others. There is one in the internet. There's only one that has Anubis on it.
Right.
And these are shuffled in a random order as they would be a deck of cards. They're completely free for anybody. Anybody can go onto the website and claim a pack of free. It's quite fun. And what happens is when they do that, like I can see, you know, tokens claimed. Someone claimed 2. Everyone's claiming 2. Someone claimed 1. No one's actually claimed the full pack of 3 yet. That's fascinating. But now the NFTs have not revealed yet. So only when 100 have been minted will then all the art change from the holding screen into the unique individual randomized vase. But that won't happen. It's in the contract. That won't happen until 100 are minted, as it were. Fascinating bit here. And this is the breakthrough. This dashboard right here allows me right here to see every NFT, every piece that I create, and who owns it. Right here. I get their wallet address right here. Changes constantly in real time. I check it today. Someone might have sold it, done another one. That gets interesting because of this partnership that I've just got. So this is an early access product. It's built by a couple of people in the Web3 space who are doing quite well. One is called Steve Bartlett. The other is Gary Vaynerchuk. You've probably seen them on LinkedIn. But they built this and it's really cool. So this is actually any manual coder can just do this with code on chain. What all Prism, the product is a user interface. And what it does is it allows you to create the squad. So here's an example squad I prepared earlier. It's called Charles Darwin. And basically what it does is, it creates a shared wallet, community wallet. And so what I've done is, there are some people here who are holders of the vase, and every time someone new gets a pack, they get added into as an owner of this shared wallet. And there's all kinds of different, so people can just be normal members of the wallet where they pay in for equity but don't have a vote, or you can elect a council to hold votes. So at the moment there's a funding round. So this is basically saying fund this wallet, fund this squad.
Right.
People can choose to fund it with the standard Ethereum, or they can choose to fund it with assets should they wish to. For example, there's a really cool NFT, Crypto Cannabis Club, which is a monthly limited edition cannabis subscription box that comes with accessories, but it's like all branded, all nice, shiny, holographic packaging. Like someone could donate that, and then that is a perk that's then given to the club, to the squad, as opposed to so on. It works quite interesting. Obviously, it's smart contracts, so anything's possible. Once you've got funding rounds, you can create proposals. So anyone can create a proposal. So squads can be unlimited amount of members. However, you would elect various signing members, and then you put a threshold on. So, for example, nothing can happen in this squad of 5 unless 3 or more agree. Now, everyone in this 5 example squad is a signing member, so they can all vote. And no one's put any money in yet, which is why everyone's got 0% equity. But it keeps it very clear in real time who owns what equity of it. Who's got votes, who hasn't got votes, how much equity do you have to own to join to get the vote over. And then basically what you can do with this gallery is you can obviously store funds, and they're all stored very, very safely in this shared wallet. The system that's set up is absolutely incredible. So obviously it's the shared funds. Make proposals on how to spend them, which is obviously what we talked about before. If someone wishes to fund a certain philanthropic thing or a workshop or a class, someone can literally just write to the community. Everyone in the community gets a ping and says, oh, there's a new proposal. And then either the council or any signing members choose to allocate funds to it. The whole infrastructure of this is here now. It's ready. It's on Ethereum software, which obviously only uses like 99.9% less energy usage than it did since the recent upgrades.
Yes.
Nothing. There's no mining anymore. There's actually barely any energy spent now at all with Ethereum. So the way to do it has kind of presented itself.
Yeah.
And that's effectively what this is. And as you've seen here, it's buildable. It's easy, and luckily I'm friends with the people that run this, so I've got you can only use this if you have an early access token, and there's only 100 of those, and they sent me one to play with it with and like give feedback to them. Good. So I'm in on this at the ground level, which I think is a good place to be with such a, like, I think looking at this like not only as the general, like, you remember when the world over voice over internet protocol, this is like money over internet protocol, but with an actual, it's usable, it's functional. This isn't hard. Like you could look at this and understand this. Adding proposals is pretty easy. Let's see if it shows me the screen. Yeah, so you can propose to open a funding round, list an NFT for sale, buy a particular NFT. For example, if there's sell, like if you want to make a sell, so say for example you end up picking up one of the Bored Apes and it goes up by 30 Ethereum, someone put the motion into sell. When it sells, obviously everything gets added back to the shared wallet, and you can basically cash out at any point. Payout, there it is, payout proposal. Payout proposal has to be agreed. At the moment, because it's in very, very, very early stages, you can't percentage payout. So it's we're all or nothing right now. So say if we're 100 grand in, grow it to 130, we can't like pay out 15 grand to people. It has to be a full cash out and then it'd be a redeposit. But they obviously do remind me quite often this is early access, and that's just how it is now. If someone we don't, say for example, on the Ethereum blockchain right now, there are various companies and the World Economic Forum who are building central bank digital currencies. Part of that technology includes soul-bound tokens. They're using this now in New Zealand, and it's been very, very controversial. But say, for example, if someone does a rape or a serious sexual assault or something that is it's like would have you basically on a register for life, and you have a crypto presence, the authorities send and now have the permission to send what's called a soul-bound token. Soul-bound tokens is basically a public view. It's basically a public token that says, I am a sex offender. I have a criminal record for this. You can see how that's controversial, obviously. With the prison systems and the world so flawed the way it is, and with it being unremovable, the way it's called soul-bound is because it can't be sold or transferred. So once it's in your wallet, it's in there until authority removes it. Controversial, but for example, if you get someone, say for example, puts in a significant amount of money, but they've got a soul-bound token, well, maybe you would want to refund that contribution.
Right.
It's kind of like social credit. Think this all stems from China, all of it. So it's like that. It's like that.
Right.
Crazy, right?
It is. It's one of these things for me to get my head around this at this point. Now, I know we did that call, and I need to go back over because I did the recording of it going back a year ago. And in fact, what I need to do with that, I need to go back and look through that again, just to kind of reignite that in my mind, because that was definitely a useful session. It's also something I can share with Tracy as well, along with this recording we're doing today. Because what I'm interested in here is, like if we did want to, let's say, at this point in time, obviously the only funding that Elevated Planet has is the money that Jolie and I have put into it, right? And we're bumping along the bottom. There's as much money in there as there needs to be because it's very low cost now that everything's like being created. But we're now reaching a stage where we're going to start doing events, where we're going to start needing real money. And as we were talking about with Lee House, Liz has the opportunity to buy surrounding fields, but it's going to cost money. And she's put some call her money into the development of the property to a fantastic standard. But she doesn't have the money to go out and, to purchase these things. And so we're talking, how would that work? Using this, how do you raise money in a way that will be committed? Because you can't just resell the property once you buy it.
Yeah, it's true. So I would think about what we've mentioned before, which is using one of our AI tools to maybe help us out a little bit there, because obviously the beauty of an NFT is it has a face, and that can be a piece of art. But the NFT is not the piece of art. The NFT is the access to this wallet, to this community. Right. So the art is irrelevant, and this is what when people say, oh, it's just trading pictures of cartoon monkeys. It's like the cartoon monkey is the face of it, yes, but in that smart contract is like the commercial license to the intellectual property of that this company owns, and that's what they're buying. And that's kind of the way we could approach it with this. So let me just get on my mid journey, so it's on the call, and I'm still screen sharing, right? You can still see.
Yeah, I can see.
So like here's a couple of pieces I did of like ancient underwater cities earlier today. These are quite good. Let me find some of the ones I did for Elevated Planet. These are some of the things that I did for the Anunnaki.
Oh yeah.
So the Anunnaki is all made obviously with AI. The way this works is so it's obviously there is you have full permission to sell anything you create using these softwares and systems. They're copyright free, so obviously someone else can take it and use it and slap it on something, but that's fine, because as we said, it's not about the art. It's about the art is almost like just the ticket stub. You know? That's where we got to think of it. The art is just the ticket stub.
Yeah.
The gold is what this gives you access to, which is Elevated Planet / Tracy's awesome community, this sanctuary. You know, it's about the access that you get. As you can see, I did all of the promotional material for Anunnaki using the same color palettes, regen with different sort of object placement and different so on and so forth. And a few of my characters that I've been coming up with. He's reading this guy in the corner in the left. He's reading a book and he's shocked. I'm just trying to find some of the Elevated Planet stuff. Tarot cards is one that I've been making as well. So something I'm doing with the Anunnaki is once all 125 have been minted, they reveal, and then 500 tarot cards get released. Every vase gets one matching card free, and then the rest go on sale. All of that sale money enters the shared wallet. So it automatically gives the community financial ownership, and it's basically on their shoulders to make it work. You know, there's a 5% royalty in that smart contract. Yes, that does come back to me every time money changes hands. For every dollar, I'll get 5 cents. That's really cool, but it's not my incentive to make it work. It's the communities, because they're the ones who are invested in it. So the tarot cards is interesting, and tarot cards is something obviously we could explore. Obviously, with its mystical connections, and like you can get. I got some interesting vibes with these ancient Egypt ones because I generated them off the vases. So I put the vase into the generator and asked it to just do me a tarot card off that input. So why they're quite similar. They're matching. A few variations of different things there as well. It's all quite nice, but let me find the Elevated Planet ones. But yeah, so what we could do is, say for example, we could do, realistically think about the sanctuary itself, think about the capacity, think about if you were opening it as a membership, what's a realistic number, and we could generate that number of pieces of art. They're very nice. It's not bad. It's not like it's cheap placeholder art. Like, I think these artificial intelligence machines are absolutely fantastic for what they do.
Yeah, it is incredible. It is incredible. I mean, they're fascinating images when you look at them.
Yeah, especially when you get things like, sometimes it shows me shapes and reflections and fractals that are just not possible. But it's like, how did it think of that?
Yeah.
That's impossible.
Yeah.
And there's a few like of the spaceship things that we did, Arcturian spaceships, dimensions. So there's so many options we could do. We could keep it all fairly themed. So I'd say we'd sort of arrive on some central points, and we'd be like, right, so we want, say, 1,000 pieces, and they all have to include this, and this. Simple as that. And obviously lots of different kind of art styles. I mean, I quite like this when you wanted the ones for the meditations and the yoga, and
yes,
these palettes are really nice.
Yes.
But that's effectively the way you could do it. Now, obviously, there is then launching that, marketing that, getting a little bit of attention on that. That involves, once it's ready to go, like boxed off as a product ready to launch, it involves writing to, publications, to features, to people, to promote it, to plug it, to explain it. It does involve that. That does come afterwards. But then the means to make it happen is just there. All you got to do is effectively sell it. I know what you're thinking. What's the big question? What's all this crypto stuff and wallets, and what do you mean? Well, I'll tell you what I mean. Let's have a look at this. So there's a checkout that I built for Ancient Anunnaki. So my view with this was I need to find a system that is for the common man, for the everybody, for the in fact for the dumbest person in the room, basically. So
that's me.
This is this is the checkout. Now, if you go onto this and you are experienced in crypto, you've already got Ethereum, you know what you're doing. That's great. These are the biggest wallet providers on the internet. You just connect yours, pay, so on. You know, and here's the checkout system. This is a free mint, obviously, because it's Ancient Anunnaki. But you can just, it tells you everything here. But I don't have a wallet, you say? Oh, that's fine. Just continue with email address. So let's, for example, walk through this. Submit it. So straight up, that's just sent me a little two-factor authentication to confirm it. So I will just do that. Bear with me, just so you can see how easy it is. It is.
Yeah.
It sent me this email address. All right, I'll click login. There we go. And it literally just says send to my paper wallet.
Yeah.
So what this has just done is this is like a wallet as this is called like wallet as a service. And it's just created it there. So I want send to my paper wallet. And if I don't have any crypto, there we go. Just enter your card, standard checkout payment. Like as you would when you were just doing anything payment online. It's completely secure. It's actually probably more secure because it's backed by cryptography than most of the payment systems online, funnily enough. But yeah, this is the solution to the people not being familiar with this technology. Is all of it literally they just have to, they'll do that, and then that wallet has been set up for them and instructions on how to access it have been emailed to them. So then when they want to, so then they just add that to no, you can do it as an app if you've got an iPhone or an Android, or if you like, I personally prefer to keep it desktop, so I have everything as a desktop, like a Chrome, an extension on Google Chrome. So my wallet's here. It's like keep it right here in Google Chrome. Contracts deployed, burn the keys to it. That way no one can compromise where the funds are being sent to. It's all very security. But yeah, easily enough. This also now, this is a bit of an old version. There's been an update, but this now has Google Pay and Apple Pay. So if anyone chooses to use it on mobile, it's even more familiar to them.
Yeah.
And that's I think that's how we do it. I think that's how we pull it off.
Yeah. Well, I am impressed by this stuff. I mean, it's still something I have to get my head around fully. I don't think it'll take me that long, but it's just one of these things I got to refocus again back on this, because it's okay. It's like all right, so how is this going to work? How does it get traded? Once it's, we sell stuff, we raise funds. How does that look in terms of shareholding, business ownership, whatever? I still have to get it clear in my head, but I do like this idea of tapping into this stuff. I've got this recorded. I'm going to break it down and share it. But then what we'll do is we'll use this as a springboard to have another meeting, right? Where we can talk further about this.